Hey everyone, Professor Snart checking in as we get actually towards the end of our English 1102 course here. We've just finished up Unit 9, which was kind of an early brainstorming unit relative to our last reading in the course, the play Death of a Salesman. And Unit 9, remember, also had all of the details for the final essay, which isn't due, of course, until the end of our class. But it's important to have all of the requirements laid out fairly early on. So the final units in our course, and you can sort of look at what they are in the units list here, is primarily just working us towards that final paper through a variety of steps and other kinds of exercises and stuff like that. So be sure that you remember that the Unit 9 contains all the essay assignment details, since you may want to refer back to those a number of times, to make sure you've got correct sources, basic things like the length of the paper is correct, the number of primary texts you've covered is acceptable, and just all of that kind of stuff. As part of Unit 9, you've also been asked to submit a very tentative essay topic, and of course I realize that it's very early in the game right now as far as completing the final essay, so your topic might be really broad, and in fact you might actually change your topic at least a little bit, if not considerably, if in the process of doing the writing and continuing with the writing process here, you don't kind of find something else that you actually want to talk about, or some sort of slightly different way that you want to talk about your thesis or your overall topic. So you've submitted this, and I'll give you feedback on it, so be sure that you open up the file or read the comments. And if I've asked some questions in there, you want to continue that dialogue with me, so be sure to get back to me and answer the questions or pose follow-up ones if you've got. So really the essay topic assignment that's part of Unit 9 here, the point is not to finalize a topic, honestly. It's really to start a dialogue with me so that we can get towards finalizing a topic, which will ultimately become a thesis for your final paper. Okay. So we've got that going on. We now move into Unit 10, and again, this is another good place to check the due dates for what's going on for us in the next couple weeks here. And Unit 10 is probably one of the most straightforward in terms of, what's being in Blackboard, because primarily what you're doing is the writing process for the final paper. And that's not just writing it, although of course that's going to happen, but really think of the process here. And there's no, like I've said in earlier units, there's no kind of correct step-by-step formula for getting this right. The most important thing to think about when it comes to the writing process is not that there's a correct one and you're doing it, but simply that you're aware of having a writing process, and what works and what doesn't work for you. So if writing papers is always a struggle, it's not that you're just born a bad writer or some myth like that. It's probably that you just don't have a very good process, or you've got one and you're not aware of it, which is kind of the worst case scenario. So if you jump right into trying to write the paper, that's probably not a process that's going to be very easy. It's going to be stressful because you're sort of trying to imagine the whole paper in your brain, and there's really no reason to do that. In fact, the longer the paper gets, the more impossible that's going to become. So the suggestion here in Unit 10 is to begin with an outline, and that really just helps develop kind of basic topic ideas within your larger topic. Even if you don't have a thesis statement yet, you can still make forward progress in terms of writing the paper. That's something that's really important to keep in mind. Equally true is that if you do begin drafting, like the actual writing, or even within an outline, there's nothing to say that it has to be written sequentially in the way that it will ultimately appear. So if you can't quite get yourself into the introduction mode of things, don't write the introduction. Write something else. Write a body paragraph. If you just have one good focused idea or one quotation that you really know you want to use, build a paragraph around that. At least it gets the ball rolling. Everything else will fall into place as part of that process. So the overall message here is, especially given the time constraints that we work under, is to make sure that you're making forward progress. Dialogue with me about the topic and thesis idea, be rereading the text, looking for quotes, filling in pieces of the outline, maybe starting to draft the paper, all of that kind of stuff. So there's no correct writing process that you must follow. Just be aware that you've got one. And if writing is always a struggle for you and really way more sweaty and nerve-wracking than you think it needs to be, it's not that you're a bad writer, it's just that you probably have a process that's not as effective as it should be. The other thing that I'm asking you to do as part of Unit 10 is simply post to this discussion board what your general topic idea is at this point. It'll help others to see some possible ideas, but really for you, it's just a good opportunity to kind of make public and to put into actual language, not just, you think you know your topic, but to actually have to express what it is that you want to write about. But clearly that's not a major, piece of work that you have to do. It'll take 10 minutes, if that, probably. The bulk of the work is really not within Blackboard for this unit, but is in fact you writing the paper, or at least moving through the writing process. Okay, so now it's really important that you remember the basic requirements in terms of sources, and those are reiterated here. If it's electronic, it has to be database. Remind yourself of how many sources you need in the Unit 9 requirements. Remember that secondary sources have to be discussions of the primary text directly, not just kind of related ideas. If you end up producing a final paper where it's not clear that you understand the difference between primary and secondary sources, or what kind of secondary sources are acceptable for us, those are core things that you have to know to pass out of 1102. So it's pretty cut and dry. I think I've said that before. And it's not really complicated, so it's high stakes, but it's also really easy, so you can sort of use that to your advantage. Okay, anyway, be aware of due dates then and how we're progressing towards the end of our course. And now, maybe more than ever, be sure you're in touch with me, as much as you need to be, so that you feel confident in what you're doing. I may have mentioned before that one of the most important parts of being a good writer, and one that we hardly ever talk about, isn't just the nuts and bolts of, sentence structure or the shape of a paragraph idea. It's simply having confidence in what you're saying, that you're doing things correctly, that you have the right kind of topic or thesis, or the right number of sources, the right number of secondary sources. So it's really important to be kind of in communication with me about that, so you are 100% confident about what you're doing. That's the kind of the groundwork for successful writing. It doesn't guarantee it'll be successful or perfect, but it's unlikely to be successful if you're not really confident going into it. So again, be in touch. And I will be in touch with one of these a little bit later on, and I'll see you then.